Hello, you beautiful sinners. My name is Psynergic. Today, we are listening to Silent Cry by Stray Kids. So y'all really came into my last video and said that you really liked it, so I wanted to do some more of Stray Kids. At the end of that video, if you didn't watch it, check it out. But at the end of that video, said that I already felt connected to them after those first two songs. But after that Secret video, like I felt a whole other level of connection that I just did not expect. Like I expected to like them. I didn't expect to like them quite that much. You throw in some meaningful lyrics, you throw in lyrics that talk about mental health and help to destigmatize that kind of stuff, I'm all for it. Now, for those of you who don't know, I do have a master's in clinical psychology. I work in the field, I do research in the field, I published research in the field. Anyways, hi, hello. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel, if you like this kind of content, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. That tells me above everything else that you want me to do more of these kind of videos, and I would be happy to do more, okay? Especially knowing the music and the lyrics that they're pumping out. So this is one that you guys suggested a lot. Silent Cry, I think you guys mentioned that this is supposed to be the group's response to Secret. You ready? Let's go. Okay.
그저 그렇게 아무렇지 않게 웃고 있는데 들리는 네 말에 You always say I'm okay 하지만 다 보여 너의 마음속 외로이 흐느끼는 너 조용한 밤 불을 끄고 나면 환하게 웃고 있던 넌 정없이 들어가 아무도 없는 빈 공간 가끔 긴 한숨만 흘리는 밤 너의 마음속 외로이 흐느끼는 너 현실의 메마른 눈 내 마음속에 오아시스 따윈 보이지 않아 여전히 헤매는 you 내가 한 발 가까이 다가가 말없이 외치는 너의 목소리 내가 들어줄게 마음속 한켠에서 길을 잃어도는 지치지 않게 서툴게 닫아둔 너라는 그 공간 문틈 사이로 내게만 들리는 silent cry 그동안 숨겨둔 silent cry 조용히 감춰둔 너의 눈물을 이젠 보여도 돼 내게 익숙해진 혼잣말 이제는 내게도 들려줄래 너만 아파하지마 내게 졸린 silent cry 기대기만 해 cause I won't let
Go back a second.
힘 빠지면 잡아줄게 기대기만 해 cause I won't let you go 참기만 하는 것도 쉽지 않은 것 같아 혼자서 노력해도 안 될 때도 많은데 넌 웃고 싶지 않은데도 웃고 있어 왜 괜찮아라는 말은 내가 대신해줄게 말없이 외치는 너의 목소리에 내가 들어줄게 맘속 한켠에서 길을 잃어도는 지치지 않게 서툴게 닫아둔 너라는 그 공간 문틈 사이로 내게만 들리는 silent cry 그동안 숨겨둔 silent cry 조용히 감춰둔 너의 눈물을 이젠 보여도 돼 내게 익숙해진 혼잣말 이제는 내게도 들려줄래 너만 아파하지마
Ooh. Ooh. Break it down. Oh my God. That was dirty, boys. I love it.
silent cry 조용히 감춰둔 너의 눈물을 이젠 보여도 돼 내게 익숙해진 혼잣말 이제는 내게도 들려줄래 너만 아파하지마 내게 drown in silent cry
that was good. That was really good. I spent a lot of time trying to look at the lyrics so that I could plan a little bit ahead of what I was gonna say, because it's a completely blind reaction. This first time is blind, and then the second time, now we're gonna break it down. We're gonna talk about these things. There was a lot that I think we could mention in there. I'm gonna mention, like, right off the bat here, like, look at these men right here that are looking at me. It's a little distracting in the best possible way. But let's chat about this a little bit. Like, there's a lot that I think we could talk about in this. So Silent Cry, let's go back through it. There was a lot to talk about in this. I can see why you guys first said that it is a response to Secret Secret. I can also see why you guys wanted me to specifically go in on this one. I'm sorry, I just got distracted by their faces again. Seong Min, by the way. Let's do this again. Love that. Y'all dirty.
그저 그렇게 아무렇지 않게 웃고 있는데 들리는 네 말에 You always say I'm okay 하지만 다 보여 너의 마음속 외로이 흐느끼는 너
Yeah, I mean, so I think in that first video, we talked a lot about that mask. There's a stigma, right? There's a stigma to mental health. Things are getting better, but there's still a long way to go. And so people with mental health issues typically wear that mask to make it seem like they're okay. Plus I think it's really hard to tell people that you're not feeling okay, that you're not feeling like they feel. If you even have that understanding yourself, sometimes you don't. I've seen clients that sometimes they can tell something isn't right, that something feels off, but they don't know what. And so having that wherewithal is not always, there. Just going off of this, like smiling as if you're fine, that's what I heard. People with mental health, anxiety, depression, it could be really anything. You always say, I'm okay, but I can clearly see you weeping lonely in your heart. So that's saying, like, you're saying that you're okay, but we can tell, we can see it, right? Like we, the people who care about you, can see that. And part of that saying that it's okay is probably wishing that it was okay or hoping that it is okay. At least for me, admitting that it's not okay makes it that much more real. When you tell somebody that it's not okay, that means that it is, like, typically that means that it's gotten to a point where it's just unbearable. And maybe that's what they're talking about here. Maybe they can see that within him and it's just getting to that point where it's becoming unbearable. Which makes sense considering the stories you guys told me about him taking off for a little bit of time. So maybe it was in that moment that they were just like, we can see it. Yeah, so this, it's funny. There's a musical that just came out if you're in the United States. So there's this musical, it's called Dear Evan Hansen. It just came out in theaters. I watched it. I had quite the reaction to it, and I made a video about it. In that song, they also talk about that withering smile. Like you can kind of see the mask just kind of drop for that second where that smile just withers. It's a thing, it's a real thing, and it's a pretty common thing, I think. I don't have any data to back that up, but I think it's pretty common, just anecdotally. Maybe you do it. Do you do that? I do it. I know I do it. I'll be like, oh yeah, that's so cool. Like I'll do that, and then I'll turn the corner and I'll be like, when it's at the worst, like at the apex of whatever's going on, it's bad. That's kind of the interesting thing about these illnesses too, is that even though you need that person, like it would be very helpful to have those people around you, you kind of push them away a little bit, right? Like you just kind of want to be alone. And this is maybe what they're referencing here, that lonely heart, that empty space without anyone, the night with occasional long sighs. That's kind of, that's what it's making me feel like. Like even though it would be really helpful to have people around you, especially people who really care, which clearly these guys do, you just push them away. And it's not like you're trying to be a jerk. It's not like you're trying to be, like, it's just that emptiness. It's just that empty, like, I'm gonna go trudge back to my own space and recharge and try to get some of that. Wrapping back around to the lyrics here, the empty space without anyone, the night with occasional long sighs, just makes me think like that person just, would go to that lonely space, they would go back maybe to their own room, you know, away from everybody. And it's not necessarily on whoever's fault. It's just it's one of the bigger symptoms within, you know, depression, anxiety, which we talked about in the last video, are pretty overlapping, right? Okay, I'm gonna get into this lyrics, but first and foremost, you know, because this is important too. The fact that these guys are coming out and saying like, we want to be there for you. Like that's the main part of this main chorus here is we want to be there for you. We know that it hurts. We know that it's painful. We know that this stuff is kind of going on. We see it and we want to be there for you. And that is so amazing. Like not everybody has that support system. If this is truly a response to Han here, then yes, I 100% love the fact that he has this kind of support system. That is what therapists would dream of for every single client that they have. Not everybody has that, unfortunately, but we try as a therapist to work through and build that support network with them. But kind of going back into this lyric that is on the screen right now, between the doors to the space called you, that you closed clumsily. We see that a lot, unfortunately. And there's actually, I've seen quite a bit on like Facebook and Twitter recently of people actually saying like, you can't judge me based off of like what happened when I was depressed because I wasn't me and I closed doors very clumsily. Patterns are important though. Like if that's them in a regular basis, different story. If that's them during a depressive episode or something, that's part of the deal, right? Like you're just kind of going through it. You don't necessarily mean to, but you can't exactly, like you're so internalized, you're so inward thinking, and it's hard enough to do that, let alone be cognizant of everything else that's going on around you, to include what might be going on in your friends' lives. That's what I said, internalized, right? That's exactly what they're mentioning here. This is yet again telling me that this is something that they actually went through. There are two types of people who understand these little details, and that is a practitioner who has seen it a number of times, but there are also those who have gone through it, who know these kind of things. You become so used to, like I mentioned it right before this, they get so used to being that internalized state and talking within themselves that it's hard to see the external. But this says talking to yourself that you've become used to. You got used to being internal, but will you let me hear it now? That's so beautiful. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting chills, guys. I got the chills going on. I'll say you're okay and you're said, oh my God, I love this. I want to back up here a second. Seriously, I love these lyrics. It's this feeding cycle, and you see it oftentimes. Sleep within, let's say, depression and anxiety go in the extremes. It's not necessarily one or the other. And sometimes it can be both. Like they can be in this ridiculous depressive state where they can't get out of bed and then they can't go to sleep, right? But it's exhausting too. Like even if you're constantly asleep in that depressive state, when you're experiencing a major depressive episode, oftentimes clients will still report that they're very tired. And that's just because, as we kind of mentioned in the last video, sleep is very disturbed in that. And so they're not getting that full breadth of sleep because it's getting disturbed often, like they're waking up. Sometimes it's dreams, sometimes it's just a reflex. I have personally had it where it's dreams, but I've also had it where my body just like jerks me awake. And so you're not getting that full cycle of sleep, which is very important to that rest. So you're still gonna be tired, even though they're sleeping all of these hours.
해줄게 말없이 외치는 너의 목소리에 내가 들어줄게 만숙한 캠에서 길을 잃어도는 지치지 않게 서툴게 달다툰 너라는 그 공간 문틈 사이로 내게만 들리는 silent cry 그동안 숨겨둔 silent cry 조용히 감춰둔 너의 눈물을 이젠 보여도 돼 내게 익숙해진 혼잣말 이제는 내게도 들려줄래 너만 아파하지 마
Break it down.
속에 비가 내릴 때 내가 같이 맞아줄게 버티고만 있지만 내가 우산을 필게 벅차오르는 눈물을 막기에는 벅차보아 빗물이 고여 빗물이 고여 모든 일이 고여 밝은 너의 죄 어두운 그림자 내게 들켜도 돼 숨기지 마
Yeah. Yeah. God, I love this song. I love this song, guys.
내게만 들리는 silent cry 그동안 숨겨둔 silent cry 조용히 감춰둔 너의 눈물을 이젠 보여도 돼 내게 익숙해진 혼잣말 이제는 내게도 들려줄래 너만 아파하지 마 내게 구원이 silent cry 우와.
Yeah, that was amazing. Seriously, that was amazing. I absolutely loved. I didn't even look at these other lyrics. I don't even know why I had that pulled up. What a dum-dum. This was really good. Like, even outside of the lyrics, stylistically, the beat, the breakdown, like, I freaking loved it. Like, the more that I dig deep into these guys, the more I'm fascinated. And that's just the reality. These men are beautiful, first and foremost, and I definitely have my eye on a few, basically all of them. If you guys did like this video, make sure you go down, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's talk in the comments. Did you experience this? Did you find this helpful? Talk to me. Tell me down below. I love chatting with you. Thank you guys so much. Do take care. Be safe out there. Check in with your loved ones. Wash your hands, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!